If you look around your life right now and feel like an alien, stop worrying. If you feel a profound, aching sense of loneliness, even when you are sitting in a room full of people, do not panic. And if you have recently lost friends or find yourself unable to tolerate the superficial conversations you used to enjoy, listen to me very carefully. You are not broken, you are not socially awkward, and you are definitely not depressed. What you are experiencing is not a rejection, it is a protection. Current neuroscience and evolutionary psychology suggests that when you suddenly find yourself isolated, your brain is actually entering a specialized, high-performance phase known as the pruning. You are shedding an old identity to make room for a new one. But be warned, this phase is dangerous. If you don't understand what is happening to your biology right now, you might try to force connections that will destroy your nervous system. This video is your survival guide. Today we are going to dissect the biology of your solitude and explain why having no friends right now might be the single best thing that has ever happened to your soul. Let's get scientific before we get spiritual. We need to talk about vibrational mismatch. It sounds like a new age term, but it is grounded in the hard science of how your mirror neurons operate. Humans are biosocial creatures. Our nervous systems are designed to sync with the people around us. When you are with your tribe, your heart rates and brain waves literally synchronize. It's a survival mechanism. But what happens when you evolve and your environment doesn't? For years, you may have been what psychologists call a high-functioning chameleon. You were a people pleaser. You lowered your intelligence to fit into the group chat. You laughed at jokes that were borderline offensive. You suppressed your true values just to keep the peace. You were burning vast amounts of glucose just to maintain a mask. But something in you has shifted. Maybe you started reading philosophy, maybe you started a business, or went to therapy, or just woke up one day and realized time is finite. As you raised your internal standards, you broke the sync. Now, when you walk into that same room with those same old friends, your body physically rejects the environment. That drained feeling you get, that isn't social anxiety. That is your nervous system detecting a threat. It is screaming at you that it costs too much energy to pretend to be the old you. The exhaustion is the price of inauthenticity. Your biology is forcing you into isolation because it can no longer afford the tax of fake connection. There is a biological imperative for this: adaptive conservation. In nature, growth is not a linear line going up. It is a cycle of expansion and contraction. Before a tree can grow taller, it must undergo a season of pruning. The gardener cuts away the dead branches, not because he hates the tree, but because those branches are sucking nutrients away from the fruit. You are in your pruning phase. Your lack of friends is your psyche's way of enforcing a quarantine. Think about it. How much mental RAM did you waste trying to explain your ambitious dreams to people who are addicted to comfort? How many hours did you spend listening to the same gossip, the same complaints, the same drama from people who have no intention of changing? That was dead weight. When the universe removes people from your life or makes you so uncomfortable that you have to leave, it is not a punishment, it is an intervention. You are being stripped of the distractions that would keep you average. You are being pushed into the void so you can finally hear your own voice. It feels like loneliness, but it is actually space. Space for new ideas, space for healing, space for the version of you that is trying to be born. You cannot install a new operating system while the old programs are still running in the background. Let's look at the hierarchy of nature. Pigeons flock in the thousands. They move in swarms because they are prey animals. There is safety in numbers. They fight over scraps on the ground. But eagles fly alone. You never see a flock of eagles. Why? Because the higher you go in altitude, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone can breathe at the altitude of high ambition, deep self-awareness, or spiritual clarity. If you are alone right now, take it as a compliment from the laws of physics. It means you have ascended to a height where the crowd cannot follow. This is the eagle phase. History is filled with men and women who mastered the art of solitude. The Stoics, the inventors, the leaders, they all understood that to build something great, you must first withdraw from the common noise. The crowd demands conformity. Solitude demands character. When you cut those cords of dependency, you aren't just becoming a loner. You are reclaiming your power. You are moving from being a needy consumer of social validation to being a sovereign creator of your own life. You are learning to stand on your own 2 feet without needing a crutch. This is the ultimate test of maturity. Can you like yourself when no one else is clapping? Can you value your own opinion when no one else is agreeing? If you can pass this test, you become unbreakable. But I must warn you, this is where 90% of people fail. They enter the void of loneliness, they feel the silence, and they panic. The ego screams, "I'm unlovable, I'm boring, I need to go out." So, out of fear, they text that toxic ex. They go back to that friend group that makes them feel small just to feel busy. They numb the silence with cheap dopamine, scrolling, drinking, over-socializing. Do not do this. I repeat, do not go back. If you return to the vomit you just purged, you will restart the cycle, and the next pruning will be even more painful. That boredom you feel, that void, that is sacred ground. In neuroscience, we know that boredom is the precursor to creativity. When you stop filling your brain with the junk food of shallow socialization, you force your brain to tap into its own resources. You must learn to sit in the fire of your own presence. This is detox. You are detoxing from the addiction to external validation. It hurts because you are withdrawing from the drug of being liked. Let it hurt, let it burn, but do not run from it. So, what do you do with this solitude? You build. You replace the people menu with a purpose menu. Use this isolation to enter monk mode. Take all that massive emotional bandwidth you used to waste on managing other people's emotions and pour it into your own evolution. Imagine if you took the 20 hours a week you spent at bars or pointless dinners and invested it into your body, your bank account, or your mind. The return on investment would be infinite. This is the time to build a foundation that the rest of your life will stand on. Because here is the promise. This phase is temporary. It is a season, not a life sentence. The law of attraction implies that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. By spending this time alone, healing your nervous system, and becoming your most authentic self, you are changing your magnetic signal. When you are finally ready to emerge from this cocoon, you will not attract the same old energy vampires. You will attract your soul tribe. You will meet people who respect your boundaries, who match your ambition, and who love your depth. But you cannot meet them until you become the person who is ready for them. You have to walk alone through the winter to earn the spring. So if you are sitting at home on a Friday night, feeling like an outsider, celebrate it. Light a candle, read a masterwork, work on your legacy, protect your peace. You are doing the heavy lifting of breaking generational trauma and societal conditioning. You are the cycle breaker, and cycle breakers often walk alone. Don't let society gaslight you into thinking you are a loser just because you chose quality over quantity. You are not losing friends, you are finding yourself, and that is a trade worth making every single time. If this message resonated with your spirit, click that subscribe button right now. We are building a tribe of deep thinkers who are not afraid to walk alone. And drop a comment below declaring, "I am healing, not hiding." Welcome to the few.